Okay, so for this next section, what we're going to do is we're going to put on the keel on the bottom of the boat. And this provides a lot of support for the boat. And then also, this is where the hardest part about this is just finding the center line. So in order to do that, what we're going to do is going to take your line that you made for your center frame, bring that to the top, and then just go ahead and take a ruler and draw a line across the top. So that's going to give us our center frame on the widest part of the boat. The next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to figure out how wide the boat is. So here, for example, my boat is 5 1/8. So I've got 5 1/8. So in order to find half of 5 1/8, what I'm going to do is just divide that by 2. So what is 5 1/8 divided by 2? So go ahead and figure that out. Well, actually, I should say, find the distance of your boat and then figure out what is half of that. So for me, 5 1/8, so half of 5 is 2.5, and half of 1/8 is 16th. So 1/16 more than 2.5 is going to be 2 9/16. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here. I'm going to work up to 2. I'm going to find 2.5, and there's 2 9/16. Now, whenever you're finding center, one of the things that you can do in order to find center is measure from both sides. Does it work from both sides? Look here. So I measure from one side, and that gives me 2 9/16, right? Remember, a half is going to be 8/16. One more than a half is going to be 9/16. And then over here, if I measure from the other side, we get the same thing, 2 9/16. So I know I'm in the center. Okay, we can do the same thing on the transom. So measure across your transom. What is that going to be? I'm showing 3 1/4. So 3 1/4. And so half of 3 is going to be 1.5. And then a half of a quarter is going to be 1/8. So 1 more eighth than 1.5. So that's going to be 5/8. So 4/8 is a half. 5/8 is 1.5. So going to measure across. We've got a half, and then 1 more eighth more than that. Then that's going to be our center line there. And then we measure on both sides. Is that good? 1 5/8 and 1 5/8. So you can look at this here as a 1 5/8. And then this one is 2 13/16. And I don't know if you guys can see my measurements there. Okay. So that's going to give us center line. However, when we do this, if we put this right on the center line, we can't actually see that mark. So what we have to do is we have to back that out. So this piece here is how big is this piece? This is a quarter. This is 5/8. So, okay, so if my piece is 5/8, as we go on there, 1 more eighth more than a half, 5/8, 4/8 is a half, 5/8. So in order to figure out what is half of 5/8, we can bring it out. So we have 5/8, and then we can make it into 10/16, and then half of 10/16 is going to be 5/16. So 5/16 is going to be, see those numbers here. So 5/8, and then I bring it out to 16ths, and then down to 5/16. And if we look on the ruler, 5/16 is going to be 1/16 more than a quarter, right? Because 4/16 is a quarter, and then 5/16 is 1 more than a quarter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a mark at 5/16. There it is. And that's the mark that we're going to set to. So that's going to put our piece right in the center there. Okay, there, and you see that as well. Okay, good. And in the front, we can just eyeball it and center it because it goes right to the front of the boat. Next thing you're going to do is I'm going to get some tape ready because we're going to tape this down as we go. So nice long pieces of tape. I'm going to start with 3. I think 3 will get us through. And again, look at which surface is nice for you. And just kind of go back and forth a little bit. When we do this, we want to get a little bit of squeeze out on the boat. And again, it's okay to run it right off of the end. Gonna line it up here. And I'll start off with a small piece of tape. Line it up. Loop these over the top here. I still got my clamps on, but it should be okay. Okay. And then now we want to line it up on our center line and our mark that we just had. Take another piece in the middle. Go right over. Push down. Loop that under. I'm having a hard time seeing my line here. Oh, there we go. Okay. Good. Okay. And for this last one, you can tape it right up to the boat itself. You can actually use those rails that you used earlier. On. Okay. Squeeze it down. Get it centered where you want it to be. And that's it. Okay. As you're doing this, you can put more tape to kind of make sure that it stays in place. And then it's going to stay on. You can see my forward piece is, there's a little bit of separation. So I'm going to tape it actually down the middle like this and pull it up to the bow like that. There we go. Okay, I'm actually going to put a little bit more glue in here. Get my squeeze out. It's a little dry. Could have put a little bit more on there in the beginning. And then I'm just going to keep taping until I get good contact all the way around for this keel. I'm going to do the same thing in the back here. This guy, bring it up, pull it over top. Much better. Okay. And I'm not sure if this is going to work, but what I'm going to do, I need to push down this centerpiece here. So I'm going to put one of these on here and just use it to help push down using the spring of the clamp. So I don't know if you can see that, but I'm not actually clamping, but I'm just using that to push down on the clamp itself. I'm going to do that again on the front here. Get it in place. Okay, so that's it. Get that keel glued on and you'll be all set. Okay.